Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of the sirlinksalot.co live stream, brought to you by your extremely handsome guests, Christopher Gegis and Nicholas Altamore.
So,
How come it's not showing our names on the thing?
I guess it's a setting somewhere. Oh, look at that. This is a new system. If you guys don't know, we're on week 2 of using this, or what, 3 now? I guess you did one by yourself too. But yeah, new little toolkit we're playing with here.
I'll let you talk for a minute while I try to figure this out.
Stream, go ahead and, let us know what you think. We don't have green screen anymore.
Oh, there
here.
we go.
But there's ease of use, and then you can read a lot of this stuff a little bit easier, etc.
So it look like it's working okay on YouTube. I'll go ahead and do a quick check. Yeah, it looks like it's working, I guess.
Fine.
Nice. Okay. All right, guys. You know the drill, and yeah, we're at a random day, random time. So hopefully, hopefully some guys show up for the stream and got some questions to ask for us. Otherwise, we've got a little bit of a backlog. Also have a couple audits that we'll try to get to because we're starting to kind of pile up on those. We didn't get to some of them on the recent streams. But yeah, let's go ahead and just get into it, I guess. Let's see here. So Nick, I guess we can do the first one. Starts with JC.
Yep.
And let me pull up a picture for you guys in Ahrefs real quick before we start this. Definitely not the most interesting picture to look at.
What's that?
It's just it's going to be kind of a whatever kind of audit. There's just not much going on.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about Ahrefs?
Yeah.
Yeah. We can move through this real quick.
Yeah, I gotta figure out my share screen thing again. Share screen, entire screen, screen 2. There we go. All right. Okay. Yeah. So here's a little audit that we're doing. Let's see what the guy says. He says it's a couple months. Well, I guess I can add this to the banner or whatever it's called. All right, so it says it's a couple months old, and I have a couple location and industry specific pages. For example, Fremont web design or landscaper web design. I want to rank for mostly location plus web design or industry. I don't know what he's talking about there. But anyway, we'll go ahead and check things out. The thing is there's probably not going to be too much to look at here, considering not really much is going on in Ahrefs. So our advice is probably going to be just keep going, keep building content, keep building links. But we'll go ahead and check things out real quick and make sure you're on the right track here. And of course, we're not going to be able to show this on the screen, so I'm just going to let you guys look at this screenshot while we are auditing things. Let's see. Website actually looks pretty nice.
Yeah. We can start there though, right? There's nothing going on in Ahrefs. We've got 4 keywords, 11 referring domains. Let's just consider it brand spanking new for those of you viewing. So mainly with this, like what we're going to be able to do is look at on page and give direction there. And so like if I jump into services, it looks just at a glance like you might need a little bit of a touch up on kind of on-page optimization, because here you've got a services page. However, it's broad about the services, and then you're kind of injecting what you do in there, which, in my opinion, seems pretty confusing. You'd want services as like sort of a hub page with all the services you provide under that hub page, but they'd all get their own individual page, if that makes sense. So maybe break it a little bit further, and then
for example, So
make,
just for a quick
yeah,
example, so you'd want something like slash like slash services, and then from services you'd want like slash web design slash I don't know, PPC, whatever your other services are, rather
yeah,
than just one that's slash services. Because as it is right now, your services page, like your on-page SEO, isn't really targeting anything in both like the title and the URL, which are pretty much like the biggest spots that you could target a keyword for. And even your H1, it's not really, it doesn't really look like it's targeting a keyword specifically. Um, yeah, anyway, sorry, go ahead.
no, that's it. And then I don't see like a geographic page or anything like that. So, this is local to a certain degree, at least starting off. So I think I'd want to see that in there too.
It looks like the page was designed basically to give people, but not to like rank, right? It looks like if you gave this, like if you're meeting people or like outreaching whatever, and you gave them the website, like people could understand it pretty easily. But
Yeah,
like as far as like ranking on Google, like I feel like that part has kind of been forgotten.
agreed. Um,
Um, Not really seeing much for like business information on like the bottom and like the footer or anything. It's got a
mhm.
contact page, got some info there. I'm guessing he doesn't want to put his address because it's like a service area business, but you're probably going to want to get over that if you're ever going to want to show up on map packs, which you probably are going to want to, because it does look like he's trying to service a specific area, Bay Area, whatever.
No, uh, no socials either. Like if you go to the contact and click on those, they all go to the same thing. And this is actually under, where is it? Portfolio. Then you go here and it's got these kind of strange Web 2.0 style sites, I guess. I don't really know what this is, but everything is
Looks like he's
linking
got
back
some socials. They're linking for me. I'm not sure what you clicked on. Maybe something different.
in the footer. Just,
Yeah, those little social icons.
oh, weird. The footer. Okay, so he's got a different footer on the home page than he does on the inner pages. Wait.
Gotcha. It's the same for me. Not really sure.
Oh, sorry. No, my mistake. I'm on the I'm on one of these fake client sites, one of the Web 2.0s.
Oh, on the portfolio or whatever.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Um,
Yes, that's fine.
so yeah, the website itself looks pretty nice, but yeah, I feel like you're just gonna want to pay a lot more attention, like SEO. Like, so look up like what is on page SEO. Look, we have an article on Sterling Slot, the basics, like URL, title, H1s, H2s, stuff like that. Getting our keyword in the content, making sure that each page is actually targeting a keyword. It looks like your blog articles.
Have
Um,
zero images. I'm guessing they're probably AI. Just at a guess.
Yeah, it's like walls of text, no images.
Everything is basically this.
Um, yeah. So, it's definitely not a best practice. Can you get away with it because you're a service-based business, not like affiliate or ads? You might be able to, but I wouldn't want to do this. I know a lot of people, they think it's like, hey, like it's working good for e-com and service businesses, so we're going to spam our sites with AI. It's like, why would you do that? Like, didn't you just see what Google did? You think they're not going to expand what they did from like affiliate sites and ads-based sites to other things too? Like, I would not feel safe with that at all. But it is working for a lot of people right now. So I can't say it can't work. But if it was a business I'd care about, I would just be a lot more careful than that, considering what we just saw happen.
You gotta say
HCU, merch
that
for.
in month number 2, like depending on how long this content's been up, it's like that. I mean, the site doesn't really have any traction going for it. Um,
Yeah, blog articles also seem to be like really like general, like how to choose a business name, how to write a business plan. Um, it doesn't even really seem related to your service, which is essentially like web development, right?
mhm.
So I would want to be a lot, maybe later you could think about that stuff, but right now you want to show Google what you're about, which is about web development related stuff. So write about that. Like, you don't want to write about these general keywords. Not only are these keywords that you're trying to rank for even higher search volume and more competitive than when you drill down a little bit, but you're also kind of not confusing Google, but you're not really showing them that you're like an authority on a specific topic. You're not really getting that topical authority. You're just going kind of like all over the place, right? It's like in a bunch of different categories or buckets or whatever you want to call them. Um, But yeah, anything else to add, Nick?
Not really. Touching points, just I would stay away from AI content. If that's what you're doing, I would definitely focus on putting a little more energy into those blog posts. And then, maybe just go back to the basics. You need a little touch up on maybe on page, maybe some eat stuff. And then I don't know what you've got going on as far as backlinks going, but there's nothing really hitting this site. We see 11 RD here. It's going to be hard to tell whether some of this content's going to rank or whether the site's going to rank without really like kind of pushing both angles.
All the links are junk. It's pretty much like kind of like spam stuff that people normally get. So yeah, basically, like none of them have over like even like 1,000 traffic. Basically, all the links are just. It's like he hasn't done any link building at all, actually.
Yes.
So yeah, as far as link building, we've got a bunch of videos on this. You start with some foundational links, and then you're going to want to graduate to basically guest posts and link insertions, or maybe something like Haro, and just target your homepage. Very natural anchors. Don't try to be too aggressive or anything right now. You're at the very beginning, so just do your foundational stuff, then start doing your guest posts and link insertions to your homepage. But yeah, it looks like he hasn't really actually done any link building himself. So yeah, it's only 2 months old or whatever. But yeah, there's, as far as like SEO goes, it's you're breaking a lot of the rules here. But it's okay. Everyone starts here, so it's not. I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's just make the improvements, kind of drill down, get a little bit more focused, get a bunch more stuff on your website about your business. A bunch of the kind of trust stuff that we talk about all the time. Again, more videos on our channel for that, and then slowly start your link building, and then make sure you're doing like your basic stuff like on-page optimization. You've done keyword research. You're trying to actually target different pages on your website, especially your most important pages, like your service pages and stuff like that. The ones that are going to bring you the most money. Your blog articles. You can write your blog articles. That's just fine, but like I said, drill down, be more specific about your topic rather than the general stuff. But the most important pages on your website are going to be things like your service page. Like these are the core of your business, the pages that you really want people to land on and that are actually going to make you money. Like your blog could inadvertently make you some money, but let's be real, like the large majority of your money is going to come from people landing on your service pages, especially if you're trying to operate locally. But you do have like a job where you don't need to operate locally, so the blog could end up paying off for you a lot more. But in general, you just want to make sure that like the core of your website, your service pages are all set up properly. And because yeah, those are definitely the money makers. Anything else to add, Nick, before we move on?
If you're curious, go check out a couple competitors ranking in your city or a comparable city, or even more competitive city, really, and see what they're doing, and then just emulate that. Especially on the on-page factors, you can really just go look at competitors' websites and kind of emulate that without needing any kind of fancy tool or anything like that. So always a good place to start competition.
For sure. All right. Let's see what we got next. Maybe we'll do another audit. So it looks like it's going to be a slow stream today. No one really asking questions or anything. What do you feel? And what's up, guys that are watching? Managed link building 10% off this month. And yeah, go ahead and ask questions. If you got any questions at all, go ahead and ask them, or else we're not going to have much to do today. All right, let's get to the next one. And that's the kind of sports one, Nick.
Yep. That's weird.
1 second, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, here's a big boy.
All right, let's see what he said. I'm really slow at setting this all up on the new thing. Okay. Oops. All right, so he says, I need an on-page audit in MLB, but losing some rankings for Edmonton-related keywords. So, of course, MLB is our managed link building program where we build links given their goals. So we are handling the link building for this site. And yeah, looks like he wants us to check out the other stuff that's potentially going on here. So let's go ahead and take a look. First of all, just looking at the traffic, looks like, things are up and down, but not too bad. Actually, things are looking pretty good here. Considering, got a DR20, almost 16K traffic or so.
Yeah, that goes
328
all
referring domains.
last year where so many sites were tanking, etc. So I'd say, it looks pretty healthy here.
Yeah, and he's been up there, for about a year now. He's maintained his ranking, some ups and downs, but that's natural. Nothing really crazy looking as far as the graph goes. It looks like the algorithm updates didn't really seem to phase him at all. I feel like that, neither up or down. And maybe the core update in August of last year or whatever actually went up during, but the other ones don't look like they've really affected him at all.
Dude, also, isn't it kind of crazy? This is a local services website. Built out like this, getting that many keywords. It's pretty impressive with such little referring domains. What they've got going on here.
Yeah, it looks like it's got a bunch of kind of informational blog type content on different things related to their niche. Like the blog content does seem to be a lot more targeted than the last one. Like they're actually targeting stuff that could potentially bring them some money. But it is going to be a local kind of business, and it looks like they're in maybe 4 locations. So hard to tell like how much revenue this kind of blog content will bring them. However, they are ranking for it. So yeah, he wanted us to audit his on-page SEO since we're doing the link building. So let's go ahead and do that, I guess. How big is this site? It's like about 660 pages, so definitely not a small site. It's got a locations page.
Setup looks good. They've got everything you need there. 4 locations, everything's real clean, separate. So
yeah, I'd say the general setup looks pretty nice so far, as far as what I'm looking at.
Yeah, services where I start to get a little iffy here, because this is like one page, but we could, again, same as like the last one, we could break this down, right?
And so each page for each service,
yeah, each one of these should have its own page, and maybe like a synopsis here. So this would be the hub page, the services you provide, and then all of those would link out to their own page. That way, if somebody is looking for, X service, whichever one of these it might be, there's more content on that particular page about that, giving you more authority on the subject matter.
Well, it looks like they do link to these. Each one is linked to. Yeah, they are. So it's like it basically has like a pricing list kind of thing on this big services page, and you can click over to each one for more information.
Yeah. So now from like a user experience thing, I'm like, that's kind of, well, I mean, it's probably not confusing because you're going to land here, then you got all that's good then.
That could work. I think it can work.
Pages look broken down, like, there's thought put into the layout. Everything looks good there.
Yeah, as far as what I'm seeing, the basics look pretty well taken care of.
So I guess resources is what they call the blog. Okay, got it.
I wonder if these 2 locations, because it's like he's trying to target 2 locations for each thing. I wonder if those locations are actually like close to each other, or if he's like trying to.
Well, I mean, they do have their own addresses. I don't know if he's doing something random. Well, no, it's got to be physical locations, right, to get people in, unless he's doing something to get people to just 2 locations.
Are you seeing things like black boxes, and when you scroll over them, you can like highlight text that's inside of them?
No.
Huh.
Where are you seeing that?
On like one of the service pages. I don't know, I'm just getting a bunch of errors with like buttons and like text showing up correctly and stuff like that.
No, nothing. Actually, like it's kind of nice. I don't know. You might have an issue with these things. There's like scrolling text in the background as you scroll down, things like that.
I think it might have just been one of the pages. I might have just been on a bad one. It's the
Mm.
very, if you click on like the very first service, it's happening. Yeah, lots of like scrolling around stuff and whatnot.
Okay, yeah, the first one, I mean, nothing's really broken, but it definitely doesn't look as nice and clean as the other ones. This might have been an earlier done page or something.
Okay. Yeah, anyway, as far as like the SEO goes, I feel like the on page looks pretty decent as far as what I'm looking at.
Yeah, things look.
Could try to look at the blog content real quick.
Yeah, I was just in there.
I don't even know how to find it. How do we get to your
It's
blog, buddy?
the footer under resources, broken down into categories.
Okay.
I mean, you know, though, what I like about this is like I'm looking at the blog and there's random info on like different athletes and stuff, but it's like it's well thought out. Like it's not just all targeting specific keywords. You know, it's like a very natural looking blog that people might actually read, which is pretty rare that we're auditing something like that, you know? Because even with the names of these athletes, like they're targeting their names, which is getting them traffic, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's all athlete really. Yeah, I mean, this all looks good to me. You could probably do some more targeted articles, assuming they're not in here, but there's a lot to go through, right?
Yeah. So, you know, it's really hard to audit on page, like on stream. We can look at like the basic stuff, but of course, like make sure, you know, look at stuff with like a tool like Surfer or like Neuron or whatever you're using to optimize your content, just to make sure you're getting like decent word lengths and you're kind of covering general topics that other articles that you're covering are trying to cover. And of course, do the same thing with your service pages as well. I think he had said that some of his keywords for his one location, Edmonton, were decreasing. So might want to check that out. Of course, for like local SEO stuff, always make sure you're trying to get like new reviews. Always new reviews always help you out a ton. I wonder if he's even like showing up in the MacPack or anything.
Yeah. And also, you know, if you don't have geographic based informational content, then you can always go there, you know, more info about Edmonton. Because I'm like in the community section, I don't see anything like that. So I don't really know where he's breaking things down.
For sure, for sure.
You can do.
Yeah, you know, I don't looks pretty good. It's really hard to audit this kind of stuff on live.
Yeah. I mean, especially
There's just a lot to look at. Yeah.
all in all, you're doing fine. You know, for the size of this site, I'd say, you know, you go a little heavier on the referring domains maybe or something like that. But it looks like what you're doing is working.
Yeah. Yeah, I would just say, you know, if you're having trouble with your service pages, again, just reviews or your location pages, whatever, you know, work on reviews, work on kind of like the local SEO stuff rather than, you know, your blog content looks like it's probably fine. Just make sure you're doing like what's in line with what your competitors are doing as far as your service pages, your location pages, making sure they're well optimized using Surfer, Neuron, stuff like that, more reviews. But yeah, anything else to add, Nick?
Nope, good.
Cool. All right. There we go. There we go. Cool. All right. Looks like we finally got some people showing up asking questions.
Hey, welcome to the show, everybody.
All right. Thanks for the audit, guys. I completely ditched that site. LOL. Too much work to edit all that stuff and start a second fresh one with better best practices. I think
Which
you're
site?
probably talking about the first site that we audited, the one that was about web design and stuff. Yeah, let us know if you're still in the chat, Mr. Costco membership. Amazing username there.
Very nice.
What are the best uses for GBT map embeds? I've seen folks hour them on homepage, location pages, as well as guest posts and press releases. Yeah, you can put these things pretty much anywhere. A lot of people will even put them like in their footers. Yeah, you can put them on your location pages, of course. Um, yeah, you can do them on guest posts and press releases too. I think you've pretty much nailed all the normal stuff. People even do them on like PBNs these days. Actually, I believe we actually offer now map embeds on PBNs. So yeah, if you wanted that, that's another option. Kind of it's pretty much the same thing as a guest post, but of course it's a PBN and not a guest post site. But anyway, something you could add to your little arsenal if you needed to or wanted to. Can you think of any other places they could use map embeds that we're not kind of thinking of, or I'm not thinking of?
Stuff like that, get them. But imagine anywhere you can get one, you're embedding a lot of direct data to Google about where you're located, right? So it's a powerful little tool and definitely worth using. No need to spam it absolutely everywhere, but you can get away with doing it in a lot of different places. So no, I think you covered just about everywhere you can.
Yeah, I wouldn't, you don't need to go like too crazy with like, trying to embed your map everywhere. It might help a little bit to an extent, but at the end of the day, just making sure you have good content, good on-page SEO, some decent link building, including some like local links and whatnot. Getting your reviews up. This kind of stuff, just the fundamentals and getting your reviews is going to do a lot for you. Um, yeah, you don't need to really spam your map around everywhere. If you've done like some guest posts and some press releases, and you probably don't need to worry about doing anything else with map embeds. Um, it's not like Google's gonna be like, oh, they have 1,000 map embeds and the other websites only have 10, so we're gonna rank them first. I don't think it's really gonna work like that.
At some point, right? Like,
Yeah.
you've got 50 citations, you got 100 citations, like, you go above that, you're just kind of extending uselessly. No real reason
Yeah.
for it.
And it's also like pretty unnatural, to be completely honest. Like how many people are posting map embeds to other businesses on their websites and stuff? Like it's just not a normal thing. So I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying it can't help a little bit, but just I wouldn't try to go like overboard with it or go too crazy. Anything
You
else
don't
on
need
that one,
to
Nick?
go and buy a 2000 map embed Web 2.0 blast. Just, be sensible.
You could, but
Yeah,
yeah, not something I would be doing.
it's probably not even going to hurt you, but waste of money.
Yeah. All right. Website made March 24th of. Sorry, I'll start over. Website made March of 24 service-based businesses in a medium-sized location. SEO started July. The keyword difficulty is not high. I have surpassed in on-page quality links. When to expect increase. All right. So first of all, I'll just say that a lot of people, when they're starting SEO, they think that they've surpassed their competition in content and backlinks. And every time we look at it, they have not. And they're usually doing things completely wrong. So especially with SEO, even when I started SEO, when anyone starts SEO, you're going to do everything wrong. It's just it's part of the learning process. I'm sure Nick did everything wrong too. And you just kind of, I'm reading a bunch of Ryan Holiday these days. So
even if I did it right, I thought I did it wrong to the point where then I would break it and do it wrong over the right thing.
Yeah.
Times.
But yeah, I'm reading a bunch of Ryan Holiday these days, and so ego is the enemy. Remain a student forever, right? And so it's like you've started and you already think that you're doing better than everyone, which is dangerous. Because if I guarantee if we looked at things, there would be a lot to improve on there. So anyway, if you had truly surpassed them on your on-page and content and on links, you'd probably be beating them. You have to factor in stuff like reviews as well. Reviews matter a lot in local, especially if you're talking about the actual map pack, which is where you want to be considering, for local stuff, there's just so much you have to scroll down until you get to organic, and who's really going down to organic for local? They're staying up on the the map and all the other little things that Google has jammed in there. So yeah, work on your reviews, try to remain a student with SEO, realize that you probably have not surpassed them on page or links quite yet. Maybe you have, but I guess you probably haven't. And yeah, just keep on chugging, right? And to answer your question, let's say you had actually surpassed them on all that stuff, and you said it was in July you made this. SEO started in July. Okay, yeah, SEO started in July. If it was super low competition, July, August, September, you could definitely start to kind of outrank stuff, especially if it's a low competition kind of niche or location or whatever. Yeah, I'd really have to take a look to verify that. But anything else to add on that, Nick?
No, yeah, I mean, you could technically already be beating out competition depending on the metro. Last project I worked on, I think, was 2 or 3 months in high competition, and we were competing with competitors. So, if you're looking in Ahrefs and you're getting some traction in the SERPs, keep on going. But it's definitely going to show you whether you're getting love or not in traffic at this point in time. If you're 2 weeks, or if you're 2+ months in and you're completely flat, I think something is probably wrong for a local based service business website.
True. Yeah. Like Nick said, if you've done all this stuff and you're not seeing any increases, and you're in it says medium-sized location, keyword difficulty is not high, but I guess that doesn't really mean much. I would just keep going. Make sure you did everything right, but chances are there's some stuff to improve on there.
Send it over to us and we'll add it to the audit list if you want us to take a closer look.
Yeah, we could do that. You could email us at info@sterlingsalot.co if you want us to take a look. Maybe not on this live stream, but maybe on one of the next ones, and we can do that. All right. Is link building different for ranking local versus GMB? I rank #1 for maps for all variations of main keywords, but position 80+ in organic.
That's
domain is 3 weeks old. Could be the sandbox. I actually don't have much experience with this. I usually, when I'm doing local stuff, the website and organic and then the map kind of seem to move together for the most part. But I guess they had a GMB, and maybe they had the GMB for a long time, and the domain is only 3 weeks old. So maybe a little mismatch there. I don't know. Have you ever had experience with this, Nick, where
a GMB website or something like that, or it's just really low competition and there was nothing else, and they had the GMB with no website attached, something like that. I don't know, or no real website attached. 80+ is a huge difference, but only 3 weeks old. I wouldn't be stressing about it. Keep on doing business as usual, which is plus content plus links, and I would expect you to do well so long as you're doing things properly. But 3 weeks in, not a lot of time. Yeah, you can call it the sandbox, but I wouldn't be stressed or anything like that right now.
Yeah, and if you got to,
without knowing whether the GMB existed previous to this website or something like that, or how you got it, would kind of matter in aspects to the difference between the website and the GMB. But sounds like you're doing things perfectly fine.
He says both GMB and the website started at the same time. That's really strange.
That's weird. Yeah, that's a huge difference. But
so yeah, again, I would be looking at
maybe no competition in the geographic region for this particular thing, and the website's moving up slow, and the GMB just automatically took some position up there. Would be my guess.
I'm trying to figure out, like, maybe you're searching for the wrong keyword. Like, maybe if you search for the keyword locally, I don't know how. Like, maybe there's a mismatch between showing the map and then the organic listings, or showing more like national kind of thing. I don't know. I've never seen something like that, but I'd be looking at the website for like following best practices, making sure you haven't basically messed up everything. This is from the same person for the first website we audited. So there's a good chance, I'm not sure, if you did the exact same thing as you did on the first site, but there's a good chance that you just didn't follow best practices again. And, you need to make sure your pages are targeting your keywords correctly and stuff like that. That's probably the first thing I'd be looking at if your GMB is ranking really well and the website is not. It's just fundamental SEO, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything else to add on that one, Nick?
No, I think that's about it.
Cool. Like always, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us a lot. Also, 10% off managed link building this month. Backlinks done for you. Give us your goals. Give us your budget. We handle the rest. We analyze your website. We get you the links that you need to get to ranked in front of your competitors. And you can focus on content and on-page SEO instead of link building. All right. Let's see what else we got here. I'm starting to outrank people, but I have not surpassed the EMDs. The Google business profile is doing well, but the website domain is very new. Yeah, so depending, EMDs, especially for local, I feel like EMDs can work really, really well. So it might be pretty hard to outrank them, especially if they're like doing link building and doing things correctly, right? And they've been there for a while. It's hard. This is why EMDs are powerful, right? But yeah, he says the Google business profile is doing well. Website domain is very new. Yeah, give it some time. Keep going. Like you said, it only started in July, so it could just take some time and just keep going. Anything else on that? Can't talk today. Anything else on that one, Nick?
That covers it.
Cool. Had hosting issues on my website for a few days with downtime for a day and a half. Issue is resolved, but should I be concerned about my ranking suffering from the downtime? Nope, absolutely not. Well, few days. I think for most cases, a few days would be fine.
It'll recover. It'll recover pretty quick. Yeah. I mean, you do fall out of index at some point, right? Or things will start to fall out of index. But then as soon as you turn the site back on, so to speak, it'll recover really quickly. So yeah, make sure you're paying attention to those hosting bills, especially if you've got 50 emails like Chris and I probably, both do.
Yeah, I need to turn those off actually. But anyway, I think Google basically has stuff built into their system to account for this. They understand that websites are all hosted somewhere. Hosting does go down. Like nothing's ever perfect, right? So they can't really be mad at you if like your hosting provider had some kind of technical glitch or whatever, and the website goes down for a little bit. But it's only like when it starts being away for a long amount of time where you really need to worry. Otherwise, it's not something you need to worry about at all. It's kind of normal stuff. And like Nick said, even if you do drop out, you'll bounce back.
Even still, consider buying a domain that just dropped. It still has pages and index. You bought it off GoDaddy auctions, and then you start rebuilding immediately. Like, let's say it's been down 2 months, but still has pages and index, and it was a real big site. That stuff will come back really quickly. So just if you're contemplating that angle, this is a lot easier. This was broken. 2 days later, it's right back up exactly how it was. Well, some kind of technical error, right?
Yes, sir. All right. Any questions at all, guys? Go ahead and drop them in the chat. It's a slow stream today, so you can ask literally anything you want, and you don't have to feel like you're wasting other people's time, because that's what we're here to do.
Huh? No, nothing.
Let's see what we got here.
Subscribe.
All right. Banners. Oops.
Second.
Would it make sense to try to get a guest post link from a company that does building management services, and I am a roof repair website? Both companies are in the same city. Yeah, absolutely. That sounds like a great link to me, especially because of the location relevance. We've made a bunch of videos like this or on this subject in the past or whatever. And, a lot of the times people just have a view of relevance that is way out of line with how the real world works. So, getting a link from a company that does building management and you do roof repair, these things are somewhat related, right? People who do building management are going to have to think about roof repair at some point in time as well. Plus, it's a local company, so yeah, I would say this is a great match for a link. But what you want to avoid is like, okay, I'm a roof repair website, so I can only get links from other people who are roof websites. Actually, I did a video. I think this was the exact example, or no, it was garage doors. But anyway, you can get links from a lot of different stuff rather than just roof repair sites. So just for some more ideas, you could just type your roof repair into ChatGPT and say, here, my website's about roof repair. What are some other types of websites I could get links from that Google would see as relevant? And it gives you some pretty good ideas, but really what it'll do is just open your mind to the possibility of there being a ton of different stuff that you could get links from for a roof repair website. So roof repair, you could get links from like mom and dad blogs, home and garden blogs, general blogs, construction kind of stuff, DIY,
Anyone who may have a house, you know,
tools, like
yeah.
tool websites. There's so many different things you get links from. So yeah, don't confine yourself, because you can really be getting links from all over the place rather than being like, oh, I need this only, and you really limit the possibilities that you have. And it's not how things happen naturally anyway. So you're kind of just doing something a little weird. Anyway, anything to add on that one, Nick?
Well, so, what's going to be like the main factor that you need to decide on with something like this is how much it's going to cost you, right? Is it cost effective? And so to put it simply, like, you've got two umbrellas for a local website: geographic info, and then the service info, right? So whatever link you're getting, the closer it is to your geographic region that you're, focusing on, and then the services you provide, the better the link. So this one that you're talking about would be right up there in the top center, in my opinion. You've got geographic relevance, construction-based relevance. It's an amazing link for you. But even if it was, so-and-so's cleaning service, which has nothing to do with roofing, or, a random other local company, then I would get the link no matter what. And quite honestly, if it's 2 towns over and it's completely different, I would still get it. This umbrella, you want it all kind of positioned up there to, the closest to your niche and geographic region. But a good link is a good link, and it's still going to pull you up the SERPs, unless it's, complete spam and there's a bunch of it or something like that. So a lot of times, if you can get geographic or niche relevance, then it's a good link, and then you've got to decide whether it's worth the cost of that link, ultimately.
For sure. I got a no-follow backlink from Redfin. They have pretty insane traffic. How much of a difference will that make? It was a link insertion. One link generally doesn't make much of a difference. When we talk about link building or SEO in general, it's really this compounding effect of all of the things that you're doing, right? And let's say that your domain authority or your links, maybe you already have better domain authority than everyone else. Maybe your problem is somewhere else. Like maybe you need to work on your content or technical SEO, something else, rather than just getting new links, right? But yeah, you're saying it's no follow, so I'm guessing you want to know if it's no follow, if that makes a difference. I would take a good no follow link any day of the week. People do like Haro, or a lot of the times when you do digital PR and stuff like that, a lot of the digital PR links, a lot of them, maybe like 50% end up being no follow, but you're getting these no follow links from huge publications. And they're super powerful. As long as they're relevant and they make sense, it's great for you. So don't worry about it being no follow. The thing about traffic, though, is that traffic doesn't necessarily mean much, but if they have insane traffic, it means they're ranking for a bunch of stuff. So it's probably going to be good for you, right? Just try to factor into your decision-making process that traffic is not the only thing to look at, and that a lot of websites manipulate their traffic by ranking for specific types of keywords and stuff that just basically inflates their numbers because people will therefore want to buy links from them, right? So if they have insane traffic and the traffic they're getting is also from keywords that are related to whatever your niche is about, or maybe it's a shoulder related, then that would be really good, right? And I wouldn't, no follow doesn't make any difference at all. You are still just talking about one backlink, so what you want to do is avoid like building a link and like sitting around and checking and like waiting every day. I remember when I first started SEO, and I first started link building, I would go in, I would build the links, and I was like checking in Ahrefs, like, oh, they're not showing up in Ahrefs. I'm looking at my rankings, like, oh, the rankings didn't move yet. It's like every day I'm like checking like multiple times, like, when's it going to move because of this link that I built? And you don't want to do that at all. Just keep building links constantly, keep doing your SEO, adding new content, improving your old content, keep doing all the stuff moving forward. Check things every like week, 2 weeks, month, whatever. And just moving these kind of more broader movements rather than looking for like one thing to really make your rankings jump like that. Anything out on that one, Nick?
Just kind of going back to the last question, is your website real estate based or construction based or anything like that, then a Redfin link is going to be awesome. It'd be like Sir Links-a-Lot getting an Ahrefs link or a Neil Patel link or something like that. Like, obviously you would want it. So if you got it at a good discount, then yeah, that's a great link. How much of a difference is that going to make? Again, going back to what Chris said, it's going to be based on all of the other variables going into your site. There is no one little trick that just gets you rankings all of a sudden anymore. You kind of got to do all the things. So if you're working your content angles, you've got other backlink campaigns going on, etc., then this, as a very relevant, high authority, harder to get link, would be of value to you. So it's going to depend on all the other variables ultimately.
Yes, sir. Do you guys have experience in rank and rent? What are your thoughts on it? I do not have much experience rank and rent myself. I think Nick does, actually. So yeah, I'll let Nick talk.
Yeah, when I got started, I thought, hey, that seems cool. Don't have to really talk to people too much. Get this little. It sucks. I don't know many people that did real well with rank to rent. I know a couple people that did, but majority of people I've heard are usually newer, and then it all kind of goes out the drain. Ultimately, rank to rent kind of sucks because you're fronting the bill, if nothing else. Like, this is just one of the major downfalls, but you're fronting the bill, and then local based services, you mainly want the map pack. So you've got to kind of get crafty on how you're going to get the map pack listings for all these websites. You're going to have to pay for the upkeep of all these websites. You're going to have to manage everything, make sure there's no footprints. It's almost like kind of building, not quite a PBN, but you're really going to have to think about it in detail, and it gets very expensive. And then furthermore, once you've got that whole asset, that whole group of sites, you're calling people and trying to convince them that they need this service. And a lot of times what you're going to come to find is these more blue collar workers aren't interested in spending money. It all sounds like sort of a LARP. So they're not going to be interested, or they're going to lowball you, or like, it's a different angle of headache. Versus what I would recommend is figure out how to go after new clients that do know what SEO is, that do know they need it, and let them front the bill to their own asset, and then you can roll that money into whatever you want. It's a much more secure way. And when you show somebody that knows that they want SEO, that you know how to do SEO, you're going to create a much better relationship than, Tom, who's got a plumbing shop 20 years now, and he's ready to exit, but, I don't know, he shows me these numbers, and it's hard to tell whether it's doing anything, like, or $500 a month is a lot of money. These are not, it's just, you're going after a different type of clientele. So I would recommend staying away from rank to rent, but maybe there's some people out there that would tell you otherwise.
Yeah, like Nick said, I know more people that don't like it than people that do. I know some people that do it and they've had good success and whatnot. But I think Nick made really good points. Having a local based or SEO agency where you get to play with other people's money and not your own is an insanely good thing. You know, get paid up front, then do the work.
Yeah.
You know, it's not I rank it and then um, you know, I guess the draw to rank and rent would be, oh, I don't have to deal with clients, but that's kind of false because you do have to deal with the clients, and you know but the thing is, you just have to front your money before you can deal with the clients, right? So it's like you have to do the work, and then you're just like switching the order of dealing with the client and doing the work and getting paid. Um, so yeah, I usually don't recommend people do rank and rent. I would much rather just play with someone else's money myself. Like Nick said, the GMBs is also a super issue. Yeah, most people that I know that are doing rank and rent, they do not do GMBs, so they're only ranking organically. Which, you know, to basically to make money with it, then you're gonna have to have a ton of rank and rent sites, because you're basically just kind of like bottom feeding, and not bottom feeding, but you're getting a much lower percentage of the traffic than a real business with a GMB, and that's actually ranking. So you're gonna have to like set up a bunch of these things, and you have to deal with even more clients, more of these blue collar clients that don't understand that you're renting them traffic. It just sounds like a sounds like a mess to me. I would never want to deal with it myself. Yeah, I would play with someone else's money all day. Anything else on that one, Nick?
Nope, that's it.
Cool. What are some common penalties that you've seen in local SEO? So many local SEO questions today. It's like the stream is titled like local SEO help or something. We normally don't get this many local SEO questions, really. But
Affiliate now after the last year, they're all
yeah,
going back to the roots. Maybe if I just go agency this time, smart.
So yeah, common. You know, a lot of stuff happens in local SEO with GMBs. Like if you start like messing around with your GMB and trying to like put like keywords in like the business name and stuff on your GMB, but it's not actually in your business name, getting your GMBs like suspended and stuff like that. You know, a lot of people have issues with. But I think in general, you know, penalties. I I feel like there's not many penalties going around these days. So it's like GMB, it's not really a penalty. It's like they suspend your GMB and you can like work and get it reinstated, right? If you don't like break the rules or whatever. But you know, common penalties, or what used to be a common penalty, would be unnatural link building, which I really don't see at all anymore. I really can't even think of the last time I've seen an unnatural link building penalty. You know what, Nick? What's really funny or kind of cool is in the history of our company, you know, we have a link building agency, as you guys can see in the top right corner. In the history of our company, we've never got one email, not a single email saying, hey, I got an unnatural link building penalty, and I'm only using you to build links. We've never had a single person blaming us on an unnatural link building penalty. And in my eyes, what that means is that no one has gotten one, because if they did, they would complain to us immediately. Just knowing how clients are.
Us, like, oh god, yeah, that would be an angry email.
And what's even cooler than this is, you know, most of our business is not from our managed link building service, even though that does account for a lot of our business. Most of it is just people ordering. So they're choosing the target URLs, they're choosing the anchor text. So they really have a lot of room where even if they're building quality links that we're building for them, they could still get themselves in trouble by using, you know, a ton of exact match anchors and stuff like that. And we're still not getting these complaints. So anyway, I feel like unnatural link building penalties are just almost like non-existent these days. And the times that I do see them, it's like some white hat on Twitter complaining that says they've never built a single link in their life. And I'm not even making this up. It's like the biggest example is like Niche Site Lady. I think she's got 2 of them in the past year, and she doesn't do link building at all, which is awesome. I think it's awesome. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know as far as penalties. I'm not really seeing much at all for any kind of penalties in local, unless you're getting hit like algorithmically, right? Maybe you're doing just a bunch of like weird stuff with AI content or auto-generated pages, duplicate content, some kind of weird stuff like that. Yeah, what do you think, Nick?
No, that's what I was going to say was, you know, penalties. I haven't seen a penalty in a long time. And the only time I really ever saw them were, you know, when there was major algorithm updates going on, and this has been a while, and then people would talk about it, right? It's been a while, but what I will say to look out for is, like Chris said, going against best practices and getting really spammy with different techniques, whether off page or on page. and then just not ranking at all. So you might not have a hard light penalty when you go look it up, but you're just completely sandboxed and you're not going to go anywhere. So that I think is more common, where somebody says I'm doing everything perfect. They've either skimped out and Fiverred their backlink profile, or they got on ChatGPT and wrote a bunch of 1,000-word articles on poorly done keyword research topics, things like that. And then they go, well, I've been working on this site three months, and I've got the competition beat on every angle. What's going on here? Well, that site's just never going to rank. So that's the ultimate penalty, is thinking you're doing everything right, but cutting corners and then just not moving anywhere. Wasted time and money. So
Yes, sir. I noticed that your guest posts and niche edits are not local links. Do you know any link providers that sell local and industry specific links? Yeah, you can get industry specific. We can even do industry specific, especially if you order like our well, I mean, it depends on like what type of link you order, but for guest posts and link insertions, they'll range between like how specific they are. You can always request it, but especially for our premium guest post, for our premium tier, you can say I only want links from like this type of website, and we can definitely do that. Other stuff might be just depending on how specific you want it, might not be exactly what you're looking for if you really want super, super specific. Because yeah, the way we talk about relevance, there's a lot of like shoulder niches, like we were explaining on the question earlier. A lot of people think they need stuff from like, just roof repair or something like that. And that's just not the case. Pretty much anything related to home and garden, or anyone who even lives in a home or thinks about a home can make a lot of sense naturally to get a link from. But yeah, I don't think I know any providers that sell like a local link service like that. Unless you're talking about like maybe you could run like a digital PR campaign, like based in your city, and they could target like journalists specifically. Or you could do it yourself, right? And that would be doing something like, let's say you're a Houston roofer, right? So this would be a really easy one. So you could basically create some content on your website that's statistics about all the hurricanes that are coming through Houston and roof damages, have a bunch of numbers. You can ask ChatGPT for help for ideas on this content, so you can get it really specific to one thing, and then you just outreach to a bunch of Houston specific publications and try to get links from them, or just show them your content and be like, hey, look at this awesome data study that we did, and there's a chance that they'll want to report on it and link to you. Other than that, I would be going and just digging up my competitors. So if I was roofing, I'd be looking at not just roofing stuff, but I would look for Houston-based websites that are doing like plumbing, homes, like real estate, mom and dad blogs, like anything that's Houston related that's even somewhat related to homes. I would just be looking up all my competitors and seeing where they're getting local links from, and then seeing if I can try to get those myself, and then probably doing some kind of like data study, like digital PR kind of style stuff. Yeah, I don't think I know any like providers that are just like, we build local location specific links. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I think as a business model, it'd be incredibly difficult for somebody to do. And then, hypothetically, if there was a company that does that, then everybody in a specific geographic region that goes there to that site would probably end up on the same, websites as far as links go, et cetera. What it sounds like you're asking with this question is, essentially you're pointing yourself at a custom outreach campaign that's more local, more hyper focused, which I don't know of a link provider that's just going to have that on hand rather than create a new campaign for you, which is of course going to be more expensive, just based on as a link provider you want to sell a good amount of links. So that's kind of hard to automate, just specifically to different geographic regions and then selling that as a particular product. So custom outreach, would be your best recourse of action. However, similar to what Chris said, based on that last question we answered, if you're getting too hyper focused, like you're going to limit, your ability to get good links, sometimes cheaper, et cetera, that are still going to move the needle. And at the end of the day, that's what you want to do, is move the needle. So, maybe you're a roofer and you're really looking for specific roofing related or geographic related links, then yeah, custom outreach might be one of your better options if you've got to be completely specific. But if you broaden it to maybe statewide versus pure local, or construction versus, or home related even, versus just roofing, then you've broadened horizons, and it's going to move the needle. So yeah, just things to think about.
And depending like what your niche is as well, like local a lot of times doesn't really need like a ton of link building. So, you could get like, the normal kind of links from a provider like us or whoever else. And then, if you could even train a VA, or, pay someone on Fiverr to scrape a bunch of competitors and get their links, lists of their links, and then train a VA to go through and pick out which ones are local links, and then get them to contact those websites, see if you can get links from them.
So something else, I guess, worth noting is like I've been doing quite a bit of local recently, and I use our backlinks to rank all of them, and I have not done custom outreach campaigns for any of them, and I haven't had a problem going in and beating anybody. So, sometimes I think people pigeonhole themselves into these concepts where like, oh, well, it's the most efficient link because it's the closest to my niche and geographic relevance. Well, yeah, sure it is, but that doesn't mean it's going to beat out, 5 of our highest DR links that, come from legit websites. Yeah, it's just not the case.
True. Okay, great. That's what I wanted to know. I believe they have 80 domain authority and 15 million monthly traffic there, an established brand. Yeah, sounds like a powerful link. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, Redfin is like up there with Zillow. It's a great link.
Black Hole, what's up, buddy? How you doing today?
I'm gonna let the dog out.
Hey, I am really struggling. I have a very low budget and my website keywords are also ranking, but because of authority, they are beating me and nobody wants to give a link for free. What to do? Yeah, so we probably answer this question like at least one time on every live stream that we do. So you could, search our channel for more information on this. But the reason why no one wants to give you a link for free is because it's 2024 and everyone gets asked for backlinks, and they understand that everybody wants them and that they are powerful and can help other websites rank, and thus they are worth money. That's why no one wants to give you links for free. The very, very, very large majority of links that you can get benefit from are going to be paid links. There's a bunch of like foundational link building that you can do that does not require basically you can do it for free. Anyone can do it. It's like citations or social profiles. Like anyone can go and do these things. You don't need to pay anything from. But when you're talking about links that actually like move the needle for the rankings, guest posts, link insertions, whatever, even Haro is paid now, right? Then these things are going to cost some money, and it's just the cost of playing the game, right? So yeah, I mean, you could try to buy really cheap links. A link can be cheap and still good. It just depends on what kind of link you get, and the budget that you need to. So he's saying Fiverr now. So yeah, I would just stay away from Fiverr, man. I don't think you realize, so.
No,
everyone, they start in the same spot as you. They say, I don't have any money. I need links though. Okay, I'm going to find the cheapest ones possible. I'm going to go into Fiverr, and you end up just throwing your money away because you end up getting a bunch of crappy Fiverr links. And not only did the links not work, but you used your money on them. And so now you basically just throw money away, right? Whereas if you were to take your time, build some quality links slowly over time. Maybe you can't build many of them, but you can go slowly. Then these links are actually there to stay, and they'll actually benefit you. And it's not throwing the money away because you'll eventually get some ranking results out of it. Maybe your website will start actually making some money, right? But yeah, I'm kind of rambling all over the place. What do you got on this one, Nick?
I kind of zoned out there for a second. It's my bad. So basically, nobody's going to give you a link for free, like Chris said. That's just flat out, it is 2024. And quite honestly, if you're struggling here at this part, then you need to rework your plan. Because the fact of the matter is, competitive SEO, my guess is you're probably doing something like an affiliate site or something like that. It's going to be even harder and more competitive. Like, we're playing out here with sometimes $5,000 a month budgets, right? And still slowly attacking SERP. So maybe SEO isn't the game you want to play, or just take a different angle and approach to SEO. You want free backlinks, and this is going to suck to hear, but it's like, all right, create some viral content then. White hat, exploration, stuff that, me and Chris aren't really going to talk to you about. I guess we could now, with the amount of content creation we created, Sir Links a lot and stuff, but it's not where we got started, especially not with like an affiliate website or anything like that. You're asking or begging for a link to change your fate is you get one link and it's not going to do what you expect it to do, and then you're just back at that same square. Like, that's just not the nature of this game. So while it is a hard reality, it's like, if this is what you're worried about at this point, I would say pick a different angle on digital marketing or SEO. Maybe you need to start blogging more. Maybe you need to, do something else. But harsh reality.
Yeah. So what you're essentially trying to ask here is like, so think about it. Basically, people do business on the internet now. People don't go to stores as much. So what you're kind of like asking is like, how do I, so I have a clothing store and I want my clothing store to be on the best street, but I want it to be there and I don't want to pay rent and I want to build it for free. And it just doesn't work like that. Like, the value of ranking on Google is very high. It can change your life, right? It's like ranking number one versus not ranking number one. It's just night and day, especially depending on what your keywords were. It literally could change your life. You could create an entire company and change all of their lives, just paying everyone's salaries and feeding all your kids, paying for Christmas gifts, whatever. So you gotta have to think about it in a different kind of way. So like Nick was saying, if you don't have the money for SEO, and you're in something where, your competition's not super low, then maybe it's a better idea to try to find a different avenue. Like, you could try social media. You could try creating video on YouTube. Creating video on YouTube is free. And you can drive traffic immediately if you do it correctly. But it's another skill. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of learning. A lot of people don't like getting on camera. Social media also, people spam social media, but to do social media well, takes a lot of learning. Like, I'm still learning how to do social media well. I'm still a noob at social media. So for me, SEO is easier than social media, but I come into SEO knowing that it's going to take me some money, right? But, so if you can get money to start coming in from another avenue, so whether that's social media or
even your part-time job, buy
video,
a couple
or
a month,
or maybe even doing paid ads, but you don't have any money. So I really don't think you're going to want to do paid ads. But paid ads are an option because you pay for the ad and then you can get money back immediately if you know how to do the ads properly. Because just pay the money, they rank, people click it, they buy, right? But you're probably not going to want to mess with that either, because you probably have to lose some money to learn how to do ads in the first place as well. But anyway, once you start making money with the business some other way, and then you can say, okay, maybe now we can start focusing on SEO. I've got the money to try to kind of execute a link building campaign to build out the content on our website, whatnot. Then you can kind of go from there, right? If it's not comfortable to do it with no money. Yeah. Anything else left out on that one, Nick?
What's up, Black Hole Super Sloth? Welcome to the show again. Always nice to see you.
Does silo matter in content ranking? So who you asked this question to, I think the answer is going to change a lot. So, a lot of people, for example, Core and all this like topical authority stuff, I know they concentrate on this kind of siloing type thing. I'm pretty sure they concentrate on like siloing and internal linking quite heavily. So I'm not really saying there's not anything there. But the way me and Nick do things is basically just using internal links to link to things that make sense from the article. It's really as simple as that. Does it make sense to link to from this article, or am I just trying to jam it in there and link to some like random crap? This is a question you can ask yourself, and you do your internal linking like that. And what it makes sense to do a lot of the times is like when you're talking about, let's say our article is the benefits of guest posting. Well, guess what? It's going to make a lot of sense to link to our product page. What are guest posts? Might make sense to link to our article, how to get guest post, how to write outreach messages for guest posts. Just all of these things end up making sense to link to from the article, because it's just how talking about a subject works, right? You're naturally going to kind of hit on these subjects a little bit, but you don't want to explain them fully. So link to them. Me and Nick are not big silo people. We're very loose with the way that we do internal linking. We literally just do, if it makes sense, we link to it. I'm not saying that there's nothing there that you could actually make if you went like really hardcore internal linking and figured out like all the math behind it and whatnot. Yeah, sure, you can probably get some benefit from that. But from our experience, from ranking websites on Google for a pretty long time now, it's not something we've ever concentrated on heavily, and I don't think it's 100% necessary. Or I don't think it's necessary to silo at all, actually. But can you get benefit from it? Probably. I'm not really sure how much of a benefit that is exactly. But if you're just doing things naturally and you're trying to help your reader and linking to the stuff that's relevant and makes sense, then I feel like you're pretty much following like the 80-20 rule, right? You're doing like the most important thing that gets the bulk of the results, and then maybe there's a little extra benefit you could get if you really went hardcore into stuff. But yeah, what else you got on that, Nick?
I mean, that's it. It's covered, and we've covered it at this point a few times, but our answer never changes. Is just internal links to where it makes sense for them to go is the best practice in our opinion.
What about backlinks available on Fiverr, like Web 2.0, some DA70 plus subdomain links, directory submissions, link, etc., because not everyone can afford expensive services during the initial days? So this kind of stuff is generally trash, junk, spam, whatever you want to call it. Some of it, if you use it in moderation, as in not a lot, and you're getting the right gigs, then some of it can make decent like foundational link building or kind of like link diversification kind of tools. But in general, most of these stuff, I've looked at these gigs, I've ordered the gigs, I've done videos on these gigs. They're rough, right? They are, we have sites repeatedly coming into our managed link building service. We're auditing their backlink profile. We open up Ahrefs, we look at their backlinks, and we go, okay, so yeah, these guys came to us. They bought some links from Fiverr. Their rankings crashed. Now they're here because they spent some money and everything crashed, and now they have no idea what to do. So they've finally said, okay, we'll let someone that knows what they're doing try to fix our situation, right? But anyway, subdomains are not great. Like basically everything that you've mentioned in your thing, these are kind of like old school, abused, kind of like black hat tactics that can make diversification tools, a little bit of foundational link building, but most people don't use them like that. They use them like what you're talking about, which is they're trying to use it as the backbone of their link building campaign, and that's when you get yourself in some trouble. What do you got on that one, Nick?
Yeah, so Fiverr is a huge resource, and there's all sorts of stuff on there. The issue with a lot of it is that people are going to go in there and click, I want backlinks. There's going to be all these deals where they're saying, hey, you get this many backlinks, 1,000, 10,000, whatever, for $50, $100. And it's just going to spam your site out. If you're on Fiverr, then, strategically kind of look for what you want, because there is a huge variance of, tools available to you there. But like, if you haven't done any pillowing and you're going to Fiverr to try and save some money, don't go to these, I'll give you 200 link people. Go look for smaller people offering maybe a little bit better quality. So we'll make you 5 manually created Web 2.0s with human written content on it or something like that. Blog comments manually done, not on auto approved sites, things like that. But what you're going to come to find is in trying to find a vendor that's reputable and then diversifying the type of backlinks that you get, and just speaking from us, well, ultimately, like if you just came in and bought our pillow link pack, you'd be happier and in a better position. And that's why we developed it, right? Like these were all tools that like we've been using over the years as well. So, you know, it's not to say that you can't get a good link on Fiverr. You could. Yeah, you could even go find maybe somebody that's got like a decent network of guest posts on there. But in the end, if you find a vendor, they're still going to charge you a decent amount. And there is not going to be some get 100 links hack that's automatically going to position you where you want to be or beat out your competition. It just doesn't work that way. Otherwise, I'd be the first to tell you that I'm doing it all the fucking time. And, you know, I'm just not.
Yeah, if it was that easy, you know, agencies like us wouldn't exist. You know, we wouldn't be able to support ourselves because everyone would just go on Fiverr and get the job done for, you know, $20 or whatever and call it a day. But it's just not how it works.
We didn't even start in those days, right? Like, you know, that was like 15 plus years ago that kind of stuff was working.
Yeah. Black Hole says, what's happening? Not too much, man. What's happening with you, Nick? What's new?
What's new? Not too much, really. I got a bunch of car parts over here for the weekend, you know, random project.
I just ordered a new carb for my bike, which I'm going to try to do myself.
What is it? What are you going to do?
Just install a new carburetor on my motorcycle. I was going to try to clean my old one, but I looked up some videos and I was like, nah, I'm just going to buy a new Chinese one for $50.
Yeah, dude, it's time consuming, and the parts for that bike are cheap enough to just, it'll be a fun project not having to tinker with all the small pieces. But then you can throw that carburetor to the side, and if you have a boring weekend, you know, start taking it apart or something.
For sure. What kind of car parts you got laying around?
Just random stuff for the daily. I'm doing some slow tuning pieces like intake. Got a flash tuner to get everything to the level after that. Little front spoiler, and then a tune-up kit. So spark plugs, coil packs, oil change, and that kind of stuff. I don't know. It should be at least like five hours or so on Saturday or Sunday.
Gonna slam some beers, put on some Limp Bizkit.
Yes, in the garage. It's just dad at home solo. Yeah, you know, yeah, maybe some Kid Rock and Leonard Skinner kind of weekend for old pops.
Do you drink while you're doing it?
No, dude, because then I would get lazy and not want to do anything. So no, I definitely don't. I've got to like want to actually do it and then get started on it, or I'll get tired and lazy. So no, and I don't want this to be like a long project, right? This is I ordered this stuff just to get the tune up now that I'm commuting to Austin. And I want it done. This is not going to end up, you know, one of those half, you know, in the garage projects like my 280Z.
Gotcha. All right, guys, we're going to try to finish up the rest of the questions here and then take off. We've been here for a while today. So yeah, let's finish these and then we're going to get out of here so Nick can go be a man in the garage.
No, it's only Thursday.
True.
Yeah, a couple days.
Michael says, don't explain to this dude why you have to buy backlinks, please. So we're here to do, man. We gotta answer these questions, but you know, everyone's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Benjamin, hello, Benjamin. How you doing, man? Bob says, should we aim for 5 to 10 high quality inbound links with high relevancy and DA each month, or is there a limit beyond which it starts to appear unnatural? No, there's no limit. It just depends on how you're doing it, right? So just think about it like this. If I had a website, let's say I created a new company and my company did something really cool and started getting popular really quickly, naturally, and people were building links to us naturally because they're saying, oh, you got to check out what these guys did. It's crazy. Can Google get you in trouble for that? And the answer is absolutely not. So where people get themselves in trouble is when they start building high volumes of links that have a footprint to them. So for example, maybe they're building like a bunch of PBN links or a bunch of really low quality like Web 2.0s or something. Maybe they're hammering like exact match anchor text all the time. So when you have in conjunction, a bunch of links coming in, maybe the quality is iffy, maybe they're not very relevant, maybe they're um, PBN or they're exact match anchor text, whatever. They're doing a bunch of other stuff in conjunction with other links coming in, and then things start to look unnatural, and then that's where you get yourself in some trouble. But if you're doing 5 or 10 high quality links a month, and you're following best practices like anchor text diversity, link diversity, target URL diversity, you're doing things naturally, you're not being too aggressive, you're using a bunch of natural anchor text like branded URL, generic anchor text, and you're gonna sustain this kind of link building for a while, and you're not just like gonna just blast it and stop, then 5 to 10 links a month is great. A lot of website campaigns or whatever, SEO campaigns, 5 to 10 links is kind of what they're aiming at a lot of the time, and they just sustain this over time. So absolutely not something bad. Just make sure you're kind of ticking all the other boxes, and definitely make sure you're not doing just link building, right? Don't neglect the other parts of SEO as well. What do you got on this, Nick?
I guess just because a lot of people, especially starting out, start thinking about like, how many number of links, but it's easier to think about it in forms of budget, because also not all links are created equal. Sometimes it's worthwhile maybe just to get 3 links that are higher quality, higher DR, harder to get links. And then other months, maybe you need more volume to diversify anchor text, etc. I think that's why our MLB program is so, powerful, is we actually audit what you might need on a specific month, right? And then you're diversifying what you're doing as well. So think I've got X amount of budget per month, and then by analyzing Ahrefs, etc., you can kind of break down what tool you might use in the form of a backlink to, best help yourself out that month. And if it's complicated for you, again, there's, programs like ours with managed link building. But yeah, there's no real limit unless you're doing a bunch of spam kind of stuff. But if you're using natural anchors, it's going to be hard for you to get a bunch of high quality links that somehow is going to flag you. If anything, it's just going to look like a high level of like emulated press in a specific region or something to your website. So no worries there.
Absolutely.
He said we're
Fiverr
SEO.
links. Fiverr links are, I'll just say, bad for websites. Yeah, for the most part. Not gonna
leave that one off the
teleprompter. All right. Bob says, do sites with high relevancy and DA pass along Google Juice if Ahrefs shows that they have traffic, but they don't have organic keywords that rank? So a website has to have organic traffic, or they have to have keywords that rank if they have organic traffic. I'm not sure if I'm reading the question wrong. Am I stupid, Nick?
I'm trying to read it right now.
So yeah, basically you have to have organic keywords that are ranking to get traffic. That's how Ahrefs measures traffic. And so what I'd be looking at as far as passing juice.
If they're just getting, I just haven't seen a site, but if they're just getting social media or ads, but then that's still in Ahrefs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So no.
Yeah, so what you could look at is high DA doesn't really mean anything on its own. Traffic doesn't mean anything on its own. Go and look at what keywords it's ranking for. Is it ranking for stuff that's kind of like related to your niche or whatever? Then the chances are that the website's probably going to be pretty decent. Make sure that it doesn't have like a Right for Us page and just like it's totally spammed out by link builders or whatever. But in general, if it's got good DA, it's got decent traffic, and the keywords it's ranking for are relevant to your niche, you're pretty much going to be good to go there. But even then, it's not exactly always that simple. So for example, PBNs in general don't have much traffic. PBNs, of course, are kind of like a much more black hat link building tactic. And PBN sites generally don't have any traffic. However, PBNs can still pass link juice because they still have a bunch of backlinks pointing to them, and then they have a backlink pointing to you, right? So, nothing is as like cut and dry as a lot of SEOs like to make things seem. And you don't necessarily need traffic to pass link juice, but in general, if you're paying for backlinks and you're trying to build quality links, you want the website to have some traffic, and they're ranking for some organic keywords that are kind of related to what you're going after. Anything else on that one, Nick?
No.
Cool. Surab says, thanks a lot. You're welcome, man. Black Hole, take it easy, guys. Yes, sir, Mr. Black Hole. See you next time. You guys are SEO Jedis. I don't know about that. Maybe an SEO Jedi in training. Ryan Holiday, always be a student, never become the whatever.
Now he's going to preach stoicism after 1 week of reading into it. God,
I'm on my third Ryan Holiday book this month. I'm like on a bit of a binge on him. Really like it.
That was like one of the first marketing books I ever bought. Was Trust Me, I'm Lying. That kind of got me into.
I haven't read that one yet.
Read Ego is the Enemy. And you said you didn't. You just, I don't know. No, you did read it. Because I remember you said you didn't really like it all that much. It was about his time working as a blogger. It was his first book.
Oh, maybe I did read it. Anyway, I do remember you talking about Ryan Holiday. I just can't remember if I read it or not.
Yeah, he's good.
I'm doing like the more like stoicism, like ego is the enemy. What's the other one? The obstacle is the way. These kind of ones.
Yeah, his little bookshop is like 45 minutes from me. Oh, you're maybe kind of close to it too.
Last question. Review on platforms and marketplaces like Collaborator. So yeah, you should, Google actually looks at reviews on these third-party platforms. So, if whether or not people are leaving reviews on the platform, it's a good idea to try to send some reviews over there just to get some kind of presence over there. Go claim your profile or whatever, set up your profile, put a picture on it, write some stuff about your business, send a couple of clients over there, give them a couple of bucks or whatever to leave your review. It's definitely a good idea to build up your, whatever you want to call it, your presence on these other third-party platforms. I wouldn't worry about it like too much. Like, it's not something I'd be stressing about like every day, but it's something you could do every now and then just to, you're basically doing what would be considered like off-page eat. Like you're having a brand presence on other places on the website that are not just your website. Google likes this stuff. So yeah, definitely worth a little bit of time and effort. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I agree. Don't put a ton of your budget into getting reviews, but if you can get clients to leave you reviews by doing something, etc., then yeah, definitely rack them up. Even beyond a ranking factor, it's just good conversion factor. So yeah, get them whenever you can.
Yes, sir. In the e-commerce world, should all products be in separate sitemap? I honestly have no idea. I'm not a big e-commerce guy. Separate site. I mean, I do a sitemap in. Actually, I don't even want to answer this question because I feel like I'm not going to answer it right. What do you think?
I don't see why you'd need to, but a lot of people do recommend having multiple sitemaps, and I guess having one specific to products isn't going to hurt you. I don't know if it's really going to help you, but might be worth doing. Yeah,
I get Rank Math or Yoast to take care of my sitemap, and I don't look at it for a single second after that. It's just I let the plugins do their job, and then I go and concentrate on other stuff, unless I'm having some kind of like weird indexing issue or something. But in general, these plugins do a great job of doing what they're supposed to do, which is create these sitemaps and get it out of your hair for you. Yeah. Anything else on that one?
Mm-mm.
Is Ahrefs free traffic tool accurate? I don't know what Ahrefs free traffic tool is. Do you know what that is, Nick?
I haven't used it.
Ahrefs free traffic tool. Website traffic checker. Let's go ahead and check out our website. I mean, yeah, it's just showing you the same number that you see, like if you bought Ahrefs, right? It's showing you the exact same thing. The thing about Ahrefs traffic is they're just doing their best to estimate it, and it's never right. And a lot of times it's way off. I've seen it actually be up and down depending on what kind of keywords the website's trying to rank for, really. But yeah, I mean, it's as good as a measure you're going to get unless you have like Google Analytics access to a website, right? I've looked up stuff on what's that other one? SimilarWeb. Have you ever used SimilarWeb, Nick? A lot of people. It's kind of like Ahrefs, not like Ahrefs, but they measure traffic from like everything, from like social media and stuff as well. And SimilarWeb is so far off, it's insane. Like I feel like Ahrefs at least is a little bit closer as far as like SEO related traffic goes.
Yeah.
Because you can check that kind of stuff pretty easily with like Google Search Console for SEO only traffic. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I feel like it's a decent measure, but it's in no way, shape, or form perfect at all. But it's just kind of what we got to work with, right? Just an estimation, and like any other metric in SEO, like a DR or traffic or organic keywords or anything. No one metric is enough. It's just a starting point. You kind of have to look at all of these things together to try to kind of paint a picture of what's going on and how you're going to analyze things and what you need to be doing. Yeah. Anything else to add?
No, I mean that's pretty much it.
All right, guys. And this next one will be our last question. Thanks. For my second question, I see sites selling DA50 backlinks with 10K organic traffic, but the keyword is something random like to blah, 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 some black hat stuff likely. Yeah. So you have basically discovered what's considered a very low quality link farm. There's link farms that are much higher quality than this. They do things a lot more tricky. This is a really easy to discover link farm. Basically, they're ranking for random gibberish stuff. They're pumping their traffic number because people who don't know a lot about SEO will see the two metrics that you mentioned, DA50, organic traffic 10K. But the thing is you can go on Fiverr and you can buy a DR or DA boosting gig for I think like $20, $40. And then, you can go build pages around keywords like the one you just mentioned, and people will buy links from you because people don't understand what they're buying, right? It's very common. There's a ton of websites doing this, and like I mentioned, there's websites that are doing this in a much more complex, harder to detect way as well. But yeah, just gotta know what you're looking at, or buy links from a trusted provider such as ourselves over at sterlingsalot.co, right? What else you got on this one, Nick?
That's it, really. There's nothing to add on that.
Cool. All right, guys, we are going to go ahead and take off. Remember that we've got 10% off managed link building for the next about 2 weeks or so. Managed link building, of course, is our completely done for you link building service. You send us your website and what your monthly budget is. We audit things. We look at what your goals are. We develop a plan. If you say, hey, that looks good, then you sign on. And then, we just start building links each month, sending a report each month. And you can go concentrate on other stuff because we'll just build the links that we think are the best to help your rankings, to try to meet your ranking goals every month. 10% off, 2 weeks only. All right, guys. Anything else we need to talk about or add? What you got?
New product? Are we announcing?
We're not gonna announce that one quite yet, but we'll just say we've got a new product. Go look around our website, maybe you'll find it. But new product, exciting, and more to come on that one later. But we're not hard launching it yet. We're just letting people kind of trickle in before we go, quote, balls to the wall with it.
Maybe we should put a little. If somebody's interested here, shoot us a little email. Maybe we'll send you a little discount taste or something as an early adopter.
We can do that. All right, guys. Hopefully our answers helped you, and I don't know if we'll see you next week or not, but we'll see you soon. And if you got any questions during the meantime, join us in our Facebook group, SEO Roundtable. All right, guys. Bye-bye.